Greetings and salutations, everyone, and welcome back to tonight's second half. Before we get into tonight's second half, a couple links. As you know, I rely on Patreon, PayPal, and my merch to help the channel to continue to grow and go. The links to Patreon and PayPal are in the description below. My merch is displayed directly under the video. Also, Dogman Frightening Encounters Volume 1, 2, and 3, the audiobook versions. They were written and researched by Tom Lyons, narrated and produced by me, Jeffrey Nadolny. Those audiobooks are available on Audible, Amazon, and iTunes, the links to which are also in the description as well. And finally, last but definitely not least, if you'd really like to help support this channel to continue to grow and go, simply subscribe, click the like button, and please leave a comment. It really does help, and it matters. And now, everyone, I have taken far too much of your time. Let's get on with tonight's second half. Shall we? As promised last night, I have Lewis back to finish up part 2 of his encounters that he experienced while in the military, and 2 right after. He's actually going to touch a little bit on the chimera incident as well. All right, guys, yesterday I had Lewis for part 1 of kind of a paranormal experiences that he experienced as a child, teenager, and into his military career. Lewis, how are you?
Good, Jeff. How's it going?
Very good. I'm glad that you came back for the part 2. We left off, I believe, in Germany, where there was we were talking about a building that you were in, more or less like a fortress that had a kind of swastika painted over wall, and there was a couple other things after that. I know you wanted to kind of revisit the chimera
Yes.
experience and stuff like that. So, like I said, the floor is yours, and you can share what you want. I don't direct the show, my friend. So
No.
the mic is yours.
Okay, Jeff. Okay, so I'm in the it's the barracks. It's the oh, I remembered yesterday. I forgot what it was again. I'm bad with locations and words. But anyway, it's not the subfloor. It's the basement. It's like the basement area of the barracks. It's like a 3-story building plus the basement underneath, and that's where they had set the laundry room. So after my buddy had told him that it was scary and it was weird and he kept hearing things, and I have to go do laundry, and I'm kind of like paranoid, and I'm walking down the stairs. I still have to go. I'm on the first floor, but I got to go downstairs to go to the basement area and go to the laundry room. When I'm walking down the stairs, I can hear like the clickety clack of boots coming downstairs, and I was like, "Oh my god, this thing is like behind me or something." So I kept looking back, and I was like, "No, it's not behind me. I think it's above." So I went back up and like peeked over, and there's nobody coming down the stairs. You know, same thing, same usual thing. You hear something, you go check it out, nothing there. So I was like, "Man, well, whatever." So I'm already scared. So I don't want to see ghosts. But I go into the laundry. I'm sitting there, and on this in the basement, there's 2 exits, like emergency exits type deals, one on each side, and plus you have the stairs in the middle. So the laundry room's on the one of the sides. I don't know if it was east, west. I can't remember, but it's on the end of the building, like the last door on the right. That's the laundry room. If you come out of the laundry room, you look to the right. That's the exit deal right there. So I'm in there like right by the door, because I'm scared, kind of like, it was freaked out just hearing stuff like people walking behind you and stuff like that. So I'm doing laundry, finish the wash, start drying it, and as I'm done folding clothes and stuff, I figured, okay, let me drop this stuff off in my room. Well, it's not my room because I'm staying in somebody else's room while they're in the field, since we had just arrived in country. We didn't have issued our barracks room, so they had just put me there. So anyway, I'm going to the room. And as I'm walking towards where the entrance to the stairs is, I hear it like coming down, clack, clack, clack. And it's weird because the only thing I saw, like, it wasn't like the first time I seen them. You see the German outfit. It was more like you hear the noise of the tapping of the boots, and you see like almost like a shadowy see-through type deal.
Like a shadow, like a kind of like a shadow man, but you can see through it.
Yeah, almost like a shadow, but you can still see definition. Like you can almost tell the uniform. You know.
Okay.
So he like walks in to the that hallway, right? I'll call it a hallway because on both sides there's like offices. The arms room is there for that barracks, and he walks into that hallway. And I got my laundry. I'm like I made it maybe like 10, 15 feet away from the laundry room. And I know the easiest way out is that exit. So I just saw that fucker like step in. I did the about face again and started running for dear life, right? I'm like, oh my God, what do you do to a ghost, right? And what can he do to you? You don't know. So I just ran out, like went outside. The door locked. At that point, it had started. It was cold. It was around, I'm gonna say about 35 degrees, something like that. It was just above freezing. But I mean, for me, just wearing shorts and a t-shirt, and I'm out there like 35-degree weather, standing around like a retard. It's freezing out there, and I'm yelling because the doors are locked. You need like a key card. I didn't take the stuff with me because I'm just going downstairs to do the laundry, you know? So I'm outside with all this stuff, and I'm yelling for somebody, like the guy that was staying on the second floor, to come out, and he pokes his head out the window. He's like, "What are you doing? What are you doing with laundry in your hand?" I was like, "Dude, just open the door. Be a dumbass. Just get down here and open it." So he comes out, and I was like, "Dude, you know that thing that you said that you heard and it was scary?" I was like, "I think I seen him." I hadn't told him about the ghost thing in the room, like, when I walked right at the door. I just blanked that out. I was like, I don't want to tell them because they're gonna think I'm nuts. Just like, I told him, dude, I think I seen it. It was like a shadow, and I saw it, and I ran out. And the lights there, they work like on a timer. You hit it, and it's on for like 5 minutes, and they shut off. And that was like the biggest fear I had. Like that light was gonna turn off while I'm in the hallway. It scared the living crap out of me. I just ran the hell out of there, and then went back in the barracks, and I try to stay outside for the most part. I would go to like the bowling alley and stuff like that. I would just go in to sleep until I got my room, and it was in the same building. I was on the second floor, but it's weird because after that I didn't see him again. Like you almost like forget about it. Like 3 months later, I was like, army stuff, training, and this and that. You're busy doing other stuff. Your mind is not like on ghost.
Right.
You're doing work and stuff like that. So it was like went out of my head for a while, and we had gone out to one of the bars, and they have dependents there. Like they'll bring their families, and they stay in these, like, an apartment building that's on post, and that's for the families of the soldiers. They have family with them, like wives and whatever. And one of my buddies, he took his wife out with us to one of the German restaurant / bar type deals, and we're out there just talking, shooting the shit, drinking, eating, having a good time, laughing, telling stories of this and that. And she's telling us about her husband. We're laughing at him, making fun and stuff. And then the wife's like, "Oh, have any of you guys seen the ghost?" And I was like, "What? You've seen something?" And she was like, "Well, when I came to pick up my husband one day to the mortar pool was like up on the hill. The barracks themselves, they're up on the hill, but on the side of the hill, and you keep on going up, and the mortar pool's up there. So supposedly she came by to pick him up, and she was waiting outside because there's just like a stairway that goes all the way up to the mortar pool on the outside of the barracks, like on the side going up. On the right hand side is the aid station. On the left side is the barracks building. So she's waiting like right there between the barracks and the aid station, because the stairwell comes down through there. And she said that one of the lights in the aid station was on, like on the top floor, with nobody was ever there. That's where I told you that we had to clean the place out, and we found Jeffrey Dahmer's medical records, whatever. And she said, yeah, up there, the lights were on. We were like, well, the lights were never on there. It's weird because there's no lights. I mean, there's lights, but it's like the switch that goes up there was disconnected from the bottom floor. You know, they have like a throw switch for like a breaker.
Right.
I guess they always shut it off so lights won't be left on.
Right, it was kind of like a hospital, like a bathroom in a hospital where it stays on for X amount of time and then turns off.
Right. But this one's like these old breakers that has like a throw switch to go up, and the throw switch, it goes down, and then the power's cut off to that section of the building. Okay. So they always had it off because nobody was supposed to be up there. It was kind of almost like a safety hazard because the building was so old and it needed repairs. So they only used the bottom floor for like the medics. So it was like the aid station. You go to sick hall and stuff like that there. He said the lights were on upstairs, and there was a guy that he looked like he just walked out of a World War II movie, you know, with the helmet, the gray uniform, and he's standing at the window looking down at her. And she said she freaked out, got in her car, and didn't want to come out. She just waited there until her husband showed up. And I was like, wow, I guess somebody else did see that. But she actually saw the full figure.
Wow.
Yeah, that was crazy. That was Germany. I'm going to throw in this, the guy that was in Iraq with me. I told you the story with the ghost there. We had gone out to the field training. I think it was like a gunnery or some sort of like red on black, red on blue type scenario, like you're fighting like another group, right? It's a big training event. We're out there, and at night we used to just chill out on top of the 88, the Hercules, the big tow truck. Well, it's not a tow truck, it's like the tow tank. We tow tanks, pull engines and stuff like that out of the tanks. We're laying on top of it, and we had our night vision on. We seen like satellites swing by, and all of a sudden we start seeing like these things like in twos, like these two lights moving around erratically, like moving to the left, moving to the right, moving up, down. It was just crazy stuff. And I was like, and these three lights came out from the other side, and they're moving around. It was like this weird thing going up in the sky, but it was like way up in the sky because it was almost like at the distance where supposedly the satellites go around and stuff like that. And I asked Little, I was like, did you see that? And he was like, oh, yeah, but if you tell anybody, I'm going to say no. I didn't see anything. So it was, you just put it away. So that happened. We seen that. Okay, so the Iraq thing, that's the ghost in Germany. And then I think here's where we go to, well, by the way, I'm going to throw this in just as info for the chimera. On my first deployment, we were out there in the green zone in Baghdad where the palaces and stuffs were, and we had our own little station on one of the Saddam's son's palace, house, mansion, all kinds of stuff was in there. But anyway, and they had told us that, you know, where the engineers were stationed, that it was on the zoo, right? They had like giraffes and ostriches and all kinds of stuff, and they wanted us to, you know, just go see it. And if you wanted to, you could take, you know, some time and go. So yeah, but at the point when we finally went, they didn't have like giraffes and all these other fun animals, you know, people talk about, because I don't know if anybody knows, I guess lions are worth more than an ostrich.
Yeah.
And then a zebra, and then horses and stuff like that. So what they were doing was they had to feed the lions. So they had to, because we don't have like livestock, right? in the military. We don't have livestock. We don't take it with us. These animals were going to starve. And I guess somebody was supposed to pick up the lion. I don't know what the deal was, but they didn't want the lions to die. And it was like the male lion, this thing was huge. And it actually looked like Scar from The Lion King. It was the darker color.
Yeah.
Hair, and the mane was like really dark, almost black, but not quite. It was like a dark brown. And this thing's huge, big, intimidating. And, people say like, oh, maybe you got the size wrong. But, when people here in the States and any other countries or whatever, unless you go to a, one of those wild animal parks where the lion's like right outside your car, you're not going to tell how big this animal really is, right?
Yeah.
Now, yeah, it's a totally different thing than going to the zoo, or you go to, somewhere else where they have like a lion or whatever. But we're close. We're like we're like 5 feet away from this thing, and he's like right on eye level with you. He's huge. Just the head scared the living crap out of you. The rumbling that like the growl they have, or you can almost feel it in you. You're like, oh my goodness, it just scared the crap out of me. Just the sheer size of this lion. The lion, they had like his, not the pride, but it's got the female lions. They had like, I think it was 4. I'm not sure what the number was, but I know it was either 4 or 5. I'm not sure. And the big freaking lion. We had heard stories about Saddam used to feed them people.
Yeah.
So, and I was like, wow, what the fuck? So all the animals are gone. All they have is the lions. And it was big. It was big, scary. When you think about the size of the lion, 5'6", it's nothing.
Right. Yeah.
It's nothing for a lion.
Not going to do anything.
No, yeah, you piss them off. You might get him if the bullet, the trajectory switches and it, luckily it bounces and it hits its heart or something like that. But it's a big beast, and this lion is like, he's not like, Saddam's not gonna get like, yeah, just give me a regular lion. Oh, this thing is huge. This lion is big. It's a big lion. So, and just to bring that up, a couple of days after we seen the lion, we're back on our little area of the palace grounds, whatever. And they had told us that the lion escaped. The lion got out of the cage. See, what they didn't tell us was he only got out of the inner cage because it's got like it's like rebarb thick wire, okay, like the cage. Yeah. It's about as thick as rebarb, the regular rebarb, not the really thick construction rebarb. But yeah, it's just like these rebar bars, and then there's chain link fence about 6 foot tall. And when they said that, yeah, the lion got out, oh my God, I was going apeshit. I slept for 2 days inside the 88 because that lion could go through a door. Like it was crazy. It was big. Everybody's like, "Oh man, you're a bit close. Why are you scared of the lion? Everybody here's armed." I was like, I don't give a shit. The lion's not going to come when you're waiting for him. He's going to come in at night, right, and eat you. So I was like, no, I'll stay inside the freaking 88 until, further notice. And then they come out and they're laughing their asses off, and they're like, dude, he only got out of the first cage. I guess somebody left the cage open and he got out, but he didn't go past the chain link fence. And it took them a while to get it in because they don't have any like people that work in zoos that can handle these animals. So it was funny. That's just it's a quick note there. Okay, so here we go. Where this is my second deployment. I was in 1st Armored Division, and we were stationed in it was outside the city of Ramadi. There was the big base outside Ramadi, and then there's like a little sub base of a couple miles away that was called Blue Diamond. I was in Blue Diamond, and we went out to this mission that we had to, I guess, they always had like information about insurgents. So supposedly they had insurgents in the town, and we're supposed to conduct a raid, and they had set up like this big operation. I mean, to me it was like overkill, but you know, what do I know, right? I'm just a sergeant. I didn't know. I don't know what they need to go quell like 20, 30, 40 insurgents. I don't know. I'm not gonna put my 2 cents on that. But anyway, they had like Apaches, M1 tanks, Bradleys, just the whole shebang, like a bunch of stuff. Like we're gonna go fight like the Republican Guard or something. So you know, with our company, our tank company, a lot of the vehicles had already crossed and they were staged on the other side of the canal, and we were left on the outside of on the other side of the canal, the outside of the perimeter where we were supposed to be staging, due to the fact that one of the tanks, the M1s, it threw the track on the inside. I guess it didn't take the decline well, and like he made like a weird turn, and the track popped out and it went on the inside. Now on these things, if the track comes out, it's easy because you just break the linkages, back up the tank, line up the track again, drive over it, and then connect it back again. Do the track pressure. You know, it's got like this piston. It's oil. You pump it over with grease, and it expands again to put the tension on the tank, on the track. But it went on the inside, so we can't take off the tension. It's jammed in there, but like really good. So we got to cut the track. We actually physically cut it with a torch. So, and then after we're done, the crew of the vehicle, they have to put it all together. So everything was done. It took us a while because we have to pull the tank back because it couldn't move. There was so much pressure that the track would not move. Only the opposite side would move. So, okay, we did that. It's late. We're screwed because we're on the outside of, where the task force was at. We're like further back on the other side of the canal. The medic track was part of our section, so they stayed with us. That was part of our group, the 88 where I was on. And I can't remember the number of tanks. I think there were like 4 or 5, including the one that was, had the issue with the track. So they set up like in a semicircle, and they finished working on it. They tell everybody, okay, bed down, and we're gonna keep guards up because we don't want to get ambushed. Like you're going on a raid and somebody ambushes you. Yeah, it's not a good thing. So the first sergeant tells me that I got to make sure that guys are up. So I'm like the sergeant of the guard type deal. I got to walk around, make sure people are up. My shift is like, I think it was like a 4-hour shift. And then in the morning, somebody else will take over for like 2 hours. And then we move forward and catch up to the rest of the task force. So, I start going around, first time around, there's no issues. It's quiet, dark. It was a dark night. I think the moon was like way in the horizon. It wasn't like right above me because night vision, no flashlight, nothing, just complete darkness, just the night vision. On these things, you have to keep an eye closed in case something happens, like an explosion. It washes out your vision on the night vision, and you're gonna have to take it off and look with the other eye that you kept closed so you can still see. Okay, that's explained. And so I'm heading towards where the 113 had ended up on the other side of the canal, just past one of the crossings. There's 2 crossings. One where the tank was going, the second one where the medic track went through and stayed on the other side. The tank didn't make it through. We had to pull them back and do the repairs. But the medic track stayed on the other side of the canal. They're still maybe about half a mile away from the task force, but they're closest to us. They're like right around the area. So we have the medics on the other side of the canal. We're on this side of the canal. I got to go see the medics for the second time. And as I'm walking down, there's this decline, and maybe about 10, 15 feet drop as you're walking down. The sand there, I guess, from so much traffic is, there's a lot of tank, farm equipment and stuff like that rolls through there. So the sand on that area, there's so much traffic there that it's like moon dust. It's like powdery. It's like talcum. So it's like really soft, and your feet as you're walking, you can see your boots pretty much gone. The bottom part of the shoe is covered in the sand. So I'm going down there. I make it down maybe about, I'm gonna say, because I could see the top of the 88, but yeah, I could see the front. If I look back, I could probably see like the top of the 88 right at the edge of where the little mesa where they were set up at, and where I was going down the decline. And at this point, that's when I seen this creature, the chimera. It was like it moved like a cat, like a lion, like a jaguar, catish. And but it didn't see me. Like there's a canal there, and it's kind of marshy, like tall grass area. Water's down in the canal. They use that as irrigation for the fields and whatnot. And there's like a big pipe looking thing, almost like a tunnel, like sewage type thing. And they got sand over it, and you can use it as a bridge. That's what they use to cross. So this thing comes out of that area on the right side, like right on my right side, comes out of the grassy area, and it's like looking straight at the medic track. The medic track is on the other side of the canal. So he's coming up behind them, like ready to pounce. His elbow, I don't know, elbows. I guess you can call them elbows. They're almost like aligned with its back. So it's really crouched down, like really low, almost to the point where he's dragging his belly. He's coming out like, it was weird. It was like, I don't know. It was just a weird thing, a weird creature. So he's going like right behind him. And when I say this thing is big, he was about 10 or maybe just a little bit more, almost about as wide as the M1 tank is, like the front end of the tank, just about as wide as he's not as wide as the tank. He's about as long as the tank is wide. You get that one?
Yeah.
Okay. So he's about that wide. So there's like room on both sides, maybe 2 to 3 feet on either side of the canal when he comes out. I mean, this thing is huge. It's like, I mean, it's scary. What do you do? The thing's, it's about twice as long as the tiger, the lion, the lion I seen in Baghdad. Twice as long. That lion, I mean, he's behind a cage, and I was scared shitless. I didn't want to get too close or nothing. And now I have this thing, like no cage, nothing. He's out in the wild. I don't. That's the one thing I don't understand why people want to go pet grizzly bears and stuff in the wild. It just makes no sense. The thing will kill you. And like he comes out and he looks like he's gonna attack or like creep up and get inside the medic track. The medic track has the troop doors that are on top, and they got a ramp. The ramp they lower. The ramp is closed. The troop doors are open because supposedly they have to be guarding, right? You have to have 2 people up keeping guard and make sure they don't come through the canal. And I don't see anybody up there. It's night vision. It's the old night vision. So everything is like super clear. I'm gonna describe this thing. Okay, he looks like a big overgrown lion. He's taller than a lion on 4 legs. So big. When I say big, it's big. Believe me, he's big. And he's about to like go like behind the medic track, the 113, a troop carrier. He's coming up like behind him, and I'm like, my dumb ass is like, what the fuck? I don't know, Jeff. I could kick myself in the ass for some of the stupid stuff I do. So I guess he knows I'm there, right? So he turns around, and the tail wags almost like snake, like a cat, like a cat's tail, but snake like, because it has its own head. Like the tail's the tip of it. It's a head. I know people tell me, it's like, oh, maybe it was a manticore or a scorpion head. I was like, yeah, I don't know. Scorpion head. The tip of a scorpion doesn't open up, right? Like to bite something. And this thing was like opening up, like when you put your hands like in a C. You know what I mean?
Like a claw.
Yeah, you put your hand, like you try to make it like a C with your fingers and your thumb. And yeah, it's doing that same thing. Like you're doing like a hand puppet type thing, open and close type stuff. But I don't see fangs because of the distance. You know what I mean?
Right.
It's like he's over there. I'm about 30 yards back, looking at this thing. Night vision. It's not like the new night vision. This is more like a little bit grainier. So I can see this thing. The thing turns around. The tail doesn't like wag or like do any of like cat motions. It just springs up like like a scorpion tail, and it was like, what the hell? Like really, I'm like, oh my god, why did I make noise, right? But so now it's coming towards me. Like he's like ready to like, oh yeah, that's easy picking right now. At least if I can't, I'll get these guys later. I'll just eat this dumbass right now. So he's coming towards me. He's moving, and I'm scared shitless. But this movement is he's slow. He's still like creeping. Like he's trying to like make out like what I am, right? Like I'm just standing there like a dumbass with my weapon, just like not pointing towards him, but almost at him.
Right.
Like you gotta have it like ready just in case something happens. So I'm like, I'm almost in shock just looking at it. And I could see the tail up facing me. He's facing me. He's coming. And I raised up the night vision goggles because I thought I was seeing shit. Because with the night vision, I see like these the eyes look like these, I don't know, bigger than a golf ball size on the head. And you can almost see like definition on the face and stuff like that. And the mouth of the tail still like opening and closing, right? And I'm like, okay, yeah, I'm done. I started feeling like jello. My stomach's doing like butterflies and all that stuff. I put the night vision back down again. I said, well, I guess I'm going to have to start shooting. But at the same time, I'm thinking, yeah, I'm done. So I was like, oh, Lord. Oh, dear God, this thing's going to get me. So I was like, oh, Jesus, please help me. I said it out loud, right? And now I'm like, I'm either going to shoot him or he's going to eat me. Either way, something's going to happen. And like, I'm ready. Like, he stops as soon as I said that. Then he starts going like left and right, like pissed off. You can hear like a little rumble, like not like deep guttural ground. It wasn't like deep, like you hear like some people explain like, oh yeah, it was really deep, and I felt it rumble in my stomach and all that. It wasn't like that deep, but I mean, I'm guessing like this. Some of the rumblings I felt was probably me being scared shitless. So this thing's like just standing there, and he looked like he was pissed, and he walked off like really quick. It was like quick, like an emotion, like turns left to his left, my right, turns and jumps into the canal. And I was like, oh shit, man. Okay, what the hell was that? Like, I didn't think about looking for tracks, looking for feet, because feet I didn't see. I wasn't really worried about his feet. I was more worried about, the head, both heads, actually. And, not getting eaten. So I'm like, okay, now I got to walk down here and see why the hell the medics are not up. Because if they would have been up, they would have seen this thing, like no doubt. You're supposed to like have one guy looking towards the one guy's looking towards the left, towards the front, the other guy's looking to the right, towards the rear, almost like, you know, so you get like a larger perimeter that you can cover with two guys up. And I go up there and I knock on it and I start saying like two up, and nobody's answering. I was like, for a minute, I was kind of like, something, either they got him, or, you know, because they're not answering. So I'm like, shit. So I crawl up the front of the 113, and I look in. There's a guy in the driver's hole. He's assed out. He's sleeping. He's snoring. The other three guys in the back, they're passed out too. So I jump in there. I bitched them out. You know, one of them was an NCO, so I'm bitching at him too. You know, you're not supposed to like bitch out an NCO while the soldiers are there, but this is no time for nap time. You know what I mean?
Right.
Yeah, especially out in Iraq in the middle of the desert. Because we've heard stories about, you know, people, they go out like on missions, they fall asleep. Next thing they know, they find them all hacked up. So, yeah, it's not something like, we're gonna go camping and you know, you guys can take a nap. No, it's nothing like that. You're out there to do business. You know, even if you had to, you would not sleep. You know what I mean? If they didn't have enough people, you would not sleep at all. So I'm thinking, okay, well, I saw that shit, and maybe it's gone. So I started walking back towards where the first sergeant's Humvee was at. They have like a 50 cal mount, but it's more like a video game type thing. You have like a little screen on the back seat with toggles like joysticks, and you control the 50 cal like remotely from the inside of the passenger seat on the not the passenger seat, the passenger on the rear seat. That's where the system's set up. And I talked to the guy and I told him, man, you just keep an eye out there, because it's just weird out there. And I don't know, maybe I don't know. What am I going to tell these people if I start telling them there's a giant monster out there and he almost got me?
Yeah, how do you explain that?
This motherfucker's nuts. That, or he hasn't been sleeping, or he hasn't slept for like 3-4 days, or some crazy shit like that. This guy's nuts. He's going to the fucking 8th floor, right? So I'm like, yeah, I can't tell him shit like that. And I'll tell him, hey, there's some dogs out there. They don't look like they're too friendly, so just keep an eye out. So yeah, tell them they're dogs. So I mean, I can't tell them. Like, you can't tell them. I mean, what do you tell them? I didn't believe it. I didn't believe what I saw.
Right.
Even after the fact, like even after, you know, I'll continue telling the story, but even after, when all this happened, I didn't believe like this shit really happened. And it's like, with the shit that goes on afterwards, bombs, mortars, taking fire, stuff like that, this shit goes into the back burner, right? So you kind of like put it away. But anyway, I told the guy that, you know, just watch out for dogs. Sorry, people. I know some people get annoyed when I start laughing, but it's just funny. You can't explain some of this stuff. You just can't. I mean, you can tell the story, and some people are yeah, no, I don't believe this. This is crazy. Like, nobody's gonna have that many incidents and stuff throughout their lifetime. But I'll tell you what, there's people out there that have that and more. They just don't come out and say it.
Right.
So I go back around, make sure the tankers, you know, inside the M1 tanks are awake. They got people up. Everybody, you know, everybody gives me a thumbs up. We're good. We're good. I go back to the 88. I tell the guy, okay, check this out. I'm going to head down to the medics, and I need you to, like, keep an eye where I'm going. It's, like, really weird there, and it's, like, something, like, freaky. Like, this weird sensation I get every time I walk towards the canal. Right? And he's like, what, did you see something? And I was like, no, I mean, have you seen anything? And he's like, no, I haven't seen anything. I was like, well, just make sure you keep an eye out there. And if you hear me shooting, just take some time, make sure you see whatever you're going to shoot, and don't shoot me in the back. Right? 50 cal is just going to chop me into mincemeat. So I like start walking that way, and I'm like, oh God, I hope I don't see this shit ever again. And no, it's weird because I get up to the edge, and as I'm coming down, not as far as when the first time I seen the thing, it was like me coming up, started taking maybe a couple steps down. This thing just comes out, and it's just like comes out, but looking at me, but in a way, like like when you see like a cat or a cougar or whatever that's like creeping, and he gets spotted. You see how they kind of like put their like necks up a little, like damn, he saw me again. Right. Yeah, like they're like, oh fuck, busted. And he did that and came out, went around like like a cage jaguar type thing. He went back to one side, back to the other, went back, and then went back in the way he came and took off. And I get to the medics. These guys, I mean. It gets me because they're not asleep, right? But they're not up above. They're down below, where you can't see what's around you. They're down below, so I'm like, are you guys kidding me? You got to keep somebody up. You got to look up. That's what it's like, two up. You stay two up on top, looking. Even if it's just your head, look up, stay up. And they're like, man, just chill out, man. Just don't worry about it. And I was like, oh, God. And, you worry because it's shit. That's the freaking medics. Somebody gets hurt. What do you do? I mean, we can still provide first aid, but it's not like a medic. But anyway, so that was the next morning. I mean, it was still dark when we rolled out. We headed out to the village. I mean, we were just sitting there waiting for hours, and then when we headed back, we actually ran over like the IED. It exploded. I mean, like the whole world exploded around us, like a big explosion. And my teeth, my gums were bleeding. Almost, I don't know, maybe it was a mild concussion, whatever it was, but it felt like Mike Tyson just kicked your ass. It was like ears are ringing, mouth's bleeding. Concrete's landing. It's just crazy stuff. Like, wow, that really happened. So, and then, that was that with the chimera. I still didn't believe it. Maybe about a year after that, you start thinking, what did I see that day? And yeah, it starts getting clearer, and you just, you saw what you saw. I mean, what are you going to do?
Right.
I mean, nobody else was there with me. They're not going to say, oh, that's not what you saw. You saw a cheetah. Shit. I don't want to see a cheetah that big. Right? I mean, I've seen freaking lions. Lions are bigger than cheetahs, so no, it wasn't a cheetah. I mean, I don't get how people tell other people. They weren't there, and they'll tell them, like, oh, that's not what you saw.
Right.
Maybe you saw a horse. Maybe you saw this. No, it wasn't that. I've seen horses. I've seen all kinds of animals. I've been to zoos. I've been here. I watch Natural Geographic.
What you saw looks nothing like any known animal on Earth.
No.
So yeah.
No. The head, like I forgot to tell you, the head. I don't know if you've seen like snow leopards.
Yep.
That they look kind of like they got a little bit of Down syndrome.
A little bit.
Yeah. Okay. It was something like that. Only that the mouth was wider. It didn't have like a long snout. It was just a wide, almost like. I'm not gonna say like the cat from Alice in Wonderland. Not like that.
Yeah.
Not like that. It was like it was wide, but it was a big thing. I mean, it was a big head. It was big. I mean, shit. I mean, even if he got 20 feet away from me, even with night vision, I still saw his freaking head and his retarded look. And he didn't look like he was smiling at me. So yeah, I mean, there's stuff out there, Jeff. There's stuff out there. We don't know half the stuff that's out there, and there's gonna be a lot more things coming out.
Yeah, most definitely.
Well, yeah. So that was that one. Then I got back to Germany after that deployment. Got out, went to Arizona. I was living in Arizona around the Phoenix area, and I had one of my aunts that lives in California asked me if I could go, go visit her because she hadn't seen me in years. I mean, she's an okay person, but she's got issues. But that's not here or there. So I go to I go to California. I bought like a beater car. It was a Chevy Corsica, a little bigger. The big ones.
Like the Lumina
It's
or whatever.
Yeah, almost like a Lumina, but a little bit smaller.
Okay.
That's the old Corsica. It's bigger than the new Corsicas they had. But anyway, it was an old one, so I just drove to California. And on my way there, right before I hit the California border, there's some hills in the horizon, some mountains and stuff. And I'm coming up. It's like a straight line. You'll see semis coming, coming and going. You got traffic. I mean, there's traffic. I'm not gonna say it was. I was in the middle of the night. I was the only one there. No, not this time. No, it was the middle of the night. There was traffic inbound coming from California towards Arizona, and I'm gonna say the semis that were coming towards me, like we're heading towards California, maybe about a mile and a half behind me. So I can still see in the rearview mirror, I can see the lights of the semis coming and the lights on the box truck. So I know it's a semi because we got those yellow lights going around. And there's semis like in front of me. One was about maybe 500-600 yards. He's not that close. He's not really far, but he's there. So I'm driving. It's dark. There's some car coming, but it's not like I'm not gonna tell you that. Yeah, those were the reflection of the lights from the incoming traffic, because no, it wasn't. There's it's not like the roads aren't like really together. With the center divider, there's like, I don't know, there's a big space between them, and it's like open. You know what I mean? They just have that wire on these rods, I guess, to prevent trucks and cars from jumping the lanes over.
Yeah.
Okay, there's that stuff in the center divider, but it's not a divider. It's like this big area. It looks like not marshy, grassy, dirt, sandy, stuff like that. So I'm going. It's a straight line. You can see the mountains in the horizon. It's dark. It's still dark. It's nighttime. It's maybe about 2 in the morning. I love driving at night for some reason. But anyway, I'm heading out to California. I see the mountains, and on the right hand side, you've been in your car, right?
Yeah.
And the distance you have in your windshield from that bar that comes down that holds the windshield, just the space you have in there in the windshield. Now, if you start gauging like miles away, like where the mountains are, but you can still see it in your windshield. The thing is far, like he's way off on the distance on the right hand side, and I can see it. It's moving. It's like this light, and I think, oh, cool. It's either a plane or there's Marines up in 29 Palms or something like that. That's what I was thinking. Maybe they're training or something. Because it looked like this bright light, and I started thinking, nah, maybe it's a helicopter. If it was a plane, it'd probably be moving faster.
Right.
Or maybe it's that far that I can't gauge what the hell it is. But I'm moving. I'm still doing 65 miles an hour, and this fucker's like way over there. So I was like, okay. And then all of a sudden it starts doing like this strobe thing, right? Poof, 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 poof. Like the strobe light, and it like hauls ass, like from the edge of the windshield almost to like right where my rearview mirror is, like that. And I was like, what? I was like surprised. I was like, what the hell is that? And I was like, wow, that's pretty cool. I wonder, what's it gonna do? So I'm thinking maybe it's a plane, but then slowly I was like, planes don't do that shit. You know, they don't like strobe, and
Right.
then it starts doing the strobe thing. It's still moving now. It's like from the right side of the rear view mirror, it goes over to like almost in front of me, right past the rear view mirror on the left side of the mirror. Now it's there, and it starts doing the same shit. Strobe, 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 and boom, it's gone. You could see like a trail of light just down the horizon. Like he was hauling ass to Mexico. I don't know why, because you got people trying to come over here, but he was trying to get down to Mexico for some reason. I'm sorry, it was crazy, but yeah, he hauled ass, and it was like weird, fast. Hey, Abby. Sorry about that.
That's all right.
She's hearing something. I don't know. Hopefully, it's not this stuff. It was this light, and I couldn't explain what it was. It's like UFO-ish, I guess, even though I don't think there's any such thing as that. But yeah, that was the second and last UFO I've seen. I haven't seen anything else. And I think that's pretty much. Oh no, wait. Now there's more. Another almost paranormal thing. Went back in the military, did my time in Korea, came back to the States, was in El Paso, left there, went to Costa Rica, came back, and now I'm after living in Texas for almost a year, I went to New Mexico. I almost forgot about that one, Jeff. Yeah, it's trippy. It's trippy. And, but anyway, I'm in New Mexico in a farmhouse in the middle of nowhere. Like, the town that's nearest to us is called Deming, and it's, I'm going to say about 10 to 11 miles due east.
Okay.
Okay, so it's out there. We're out in the middle of nowhere. It's a little farmhouse. They got like the main house, the big house that they built is about, I'm going to say about 600 yards from the small house that we're in. And then the owners lived towards the south of us. And a beautiful place. It used to be like a horse ranch. And then they stopped doing horses because the lady hated, like when the horses passed away.
Yeah.
When they died after a while, she just didn't want to go through that. You know, I guess it's like having like a bunch of dogs and they start dying. I guess you feel like you don't want to have dogs anymore. But yeah, that happened. They transferred that. Instead of horses, they started going hay to sell to the people that own animals and horses in the area. All right, so I'm living there for first year. It's freaking awesome. I loved it. Then my mom started having this issue where she started seeing these two short people, like dressed up in like old clothing, like old, dirty, like filthy clothing. You know, like they've been walking around the desert forever. You know, their faces are like pruned up, like old people. Like, but I don't know how to explain it. She said they were wrinkly, but more like prunes, not like really wrinkly. Like there's so many wrinkles on their face you could barely tell, and they have like these big eyes and like I guess normal mouths, but they would stand. That we had on the kitchen. We had you know those little islands.
Yeah, in the middle of the kitchen.
In the middle of the kitchen,
yeah.
and you have like a horseshoe type kitchen, and to the left, if you're looking towards the kitchen, to the left is my mom's room. To the right is you're going towards the entrance of the house, and if you go left from the entrance, if you're going left instead of right to exit, you go to my room. My room was like I guess they used to like a storage room, but they converted it into a bedroom. But they were standing on the side that's on her towards her room, like on the door. Her room didn't have a door. There was no door on that room, so they would just stand there and look at her. They never said anything to her. They just like stand there and make like these grinning faces, and she said she could hear them sometimes going like this, like they're going like that. Just crazy stuff, man. And I was like, all right, Mom, so what do you think they are? And she's like, I don't know. But they don't do nothing. They just stand there. They just stand there looking at me. And they start doing that. And like this grin, like they're
growl.
trying to. I don't know. They're not saying nothing. It's just like, they like this evil grin. And when they like start making the sounds, like their faces get more wrinkly, like their eyes is almost closed.
Yeah.
And I guess like somebody trying to push a deuce out or something like going something like that. And she says they never say anything, they never move, they just stand there and they look into the room at her. And I was like, okay. So I get pissed off because when the stuff starts happening to her, I know shit's gonna go haywire sooner or later. So I get mad and I started like cussing these things out, and then I said the Lord's Prayer, and then I told them that this is my house now. When I leave, they can have it back, but while I'm there, they need to stay the F out,
Yeah.
And if they don't listen to what I say, then by the blood of Christ and this and that, please stay out. Do not come back until we leave. And it kind of like it went down. She told me like, yeah, she wouldn't see him. She still felt kind of weird in the property, I guess, because she started seeing that stuff, but she never saw him. Like after I got pissed off and started saying stuff to it, and yeah, that was the last one. I haven't seen anything. Oh, there is one when I was in Arizona when I had gotten out. The UFO thing. Before that, my brother and his wife, they had 3 kids. 2 of them wanted to come visit me. I had like a studio apartment, and my mom came to visit me for a while. She was living in California, so now I got my mom and these 2 kids, and I just got a job at Domino's. I didn't feel like doing anything. I had just gotten out of the military, so I said I'm just gonna go deliver pizzas. And this girl, she's always had this thing that she's always has this whatchamacallit, she talks to like imaginary friends.
Like schizophrenia?
She talks to like an imaginary friend, right?
Okay.
Like she has imaginary friends. No, there's nothing there. She's talking to them. Just crazy stuff.
Right.
But anyway, and I know that that was going on. My sister-in-law told me that one day she heard the boy fighting with the girl. They're twins, by the way. They're twins. One's a boy, one's a girl. They were fighting, like just arguing, yelling at each other in the room. And she heard like somebody hit somebody, right? So she walked in the room, and the kid like holding his face, and she's over there in the corner just playing, like talking to herself. And this kid's like freaked out. He's not saying anything, and the mom's telling the girls like, "Why did you hit your brother?" And she looks back and she's like, "I didn't hit him." And then she asked him like, "Who hit you?" And he's like, "I don't know." Like it wasn't her, right? Okay, so that happened, and then they come visit, right? So I'm at work. I'm at Domino's, so I'm just driving around, and my mom calls me and tells me that something weird's going on in the house. That this girl is talking to herself again, and this light, like this orb. It's a 1-bedroom apartment. It's not like you're gonna get reflections of this or that. And I got the plastic blinds, right? That cover the windows, and there's no lights. There's no lights there. Just the kitchen and little living room / bedroom. It's a studio. It's nothing big. And I was like, really? A light? What's the light doing? And she's like, I don't know. The light's not doing anything. She's talking to it. I was like, okay. Give me a few minutes. I'll be there. Maybe an hour. So I head home. You know, I'm a dumbass. I head home, and she's sitting there like in a corner, like this weird kid, you know. The chubby kid, he's just over there talking with her mom, you know, grandma this and grandma that. And she's over there like in the corner, just talking to herself. And I tell my mom, "Hi mom, how you doing?" And I tell hi to the kid. I'm not gonna put their names out there, but you know, I'd say hi to him, and I walk over to the girl. And I'm like, "Hi, sweetie," and she's like, "Hi, Uncle Louie." I was like, "Oh, that's so sweet of you. I'm gonna have to talk to you for a minute." And she's like, "What is it? What's going on?" And I'm like, "I know you have an issue with an imaginary friend, right?" And she's like, "Oh yeah, we talk all the time." And I was like, "Really? You know, you might want to tell your imaginary friend that this is my house and they need to stay outside. I don't want them in here. And if you can't deal with it because your friend's not with you, you can go back to your mom. I'll drive you there like in a second."
Right.
So I'm not playing around with your spooky little friend messing around the house. My mom doesn't like them. So either you tell them to get out or you're both going out. And she just looks at me like, "Okay, he'll stay out." Like, I was like, "What the fuck?" Like, she's talking to me like a robot. It was just crazy. And that was it. I think that's all of them. Unless something else pops up some other day, I'll just call you and like give you a heads up. But I doubt that. Well, I'm praying that nothing weird happens.
Yeah, definitely praying that it's not gonna. Yeah, that's insane. I mean, just the amount of, and like you and I were talking earlier, and you know, people maybe like, well, you know, why does this guy have so many? Why is he seeing so many things? He's making it up. He's a liar, and you know, there are people that don't share things that have seen things all of their lives.
Yeah.
Some people have the unfortunate uh, time of seeing immense amount of things, and then others just don't see anything.
Yeah.
It's nothing to envy, you know. It's
Right.
and you know the experiences that you had in the military are just real horrifying because at that point you can't say anything to anybody. Otherwise, your career at the time is done, and you're not just going to get fired. You're going to go to a doctor.
You go to the loony bin.
Yeah, and they'll just put you there just because they can, you know, because they own you at that time.
Yeah, pretty much. After some sessions and drugs, and I don't know if they still do shock therapy. Maybe they'll let you out. But it's crazy. It's like it's out there. I mean, after all this happened, every once in a while I'll still see like like I told you, like these little shadows.
Yeah.
Some are like almost the size of a mouse, just flashing like really quick. There's no mice here.
Yeah. Well, look at yesterday. I mean, yesterday was a strange, and you know we talked about that. Our phone conversation was like this today. I could hear you perfectly. You were perfectly clear. Next thing you know, we're in the middle. We're starting the interview. Just as we started the interview, your phone went goofy, and then it hung
like I
up.
told you, it was doing like a bunch of crazy stuff. Like different screens were popping up, different apps were turning on. I had that screen that said, "Do you want to call Jeff or you want to hang up?"
It was almost like something didn't want you to talk.
I was like, that's weird. And during that, towards the end, I don't know. Yeah, towards the end, my the flashlight on the phone turned on. I mean, after seeing all this stuff going on the phone and just the cutoffs, and I was like, you know what? I'm just gonna leave it alone.
Yeah.
I'll just wait till the phone calls are done, and then I'll shut off the light. And it's like like I'm rubbing my cheek on the phone. I'm not. I got the earpiece like by the ear, and That's not touching my cheek. I can like put my hand between my face and the phone. I'm not touching anything.
Right.
So it's not like I hit something. Oh yeah, he's rubbing his phone on his face while he's talking.
Yeah,
No,
it was
it's
a strange set of, just a way you can't explain, even, rubbing your phone on, or rubbing your phone on your face. It doesn't explain the whole how your phone um reception was, in the two hangups. They were not, they were random, and then
hmm
when I called you back, the conversation was crystal clear again.
Yeah, I noticed that it would start clear and then gradually it just like muffles out like I'm talking out of a coffee cup.
Yeah, yeah, it was really
I was like,
strange.
huh, that's weird.
Like I
But
said,
I
it
mean,
was
yeah.
almost like something didn't want you to talk last night or something.
Well, there's things that don't want to be known of, I guess.
Right.
They're out there. They're around us 24/7. Once the veil lifts, we're gonna see things that are, men's hearts are gonna fail for what comes up on the earth.
Yeah.
So
Yep.
yeah, they're out. There's stuff out there, and what people see is just the tip of the iceberg, like the very very tip.
Yeah.
We're not seeing everything.
Yeah, because if we could see everything, it'd be
We wouldn't go out.
no, no.
We'd probably dig a hole somewhere, fill it with concrete while it's still wet. Jump in it.
Yeah, it's there's bad things are array.
Mm-hmm.
Things are about to happen, and
Yeah, but what we have to worry about is like, yeah, there's monsters out there, but there's there's bigger monsters that nobody wants to mention, and it's with the G and ends in a T,
yeah,
and
with a
I
V
mean
in the middle.
they're in your life 24/7. Shit, they listen to everything we say. They can see us through your TV. Don't get one of those Ring doorbells because they can see through there too.
Yep.
So yeah, that's worse. It's like we're in a cage within a cage because, like I was telling you before, I don't think the world is what they tell us it is.
Right.
Yeah. If you're thinking biblically, we're in a prison.
Yeah.
Where they messed up after the creation, and we have to like learn our lesson, and we're stuck here. And you know how people are in jail, they start liking it. That's why you get people that, oh, the world's so beautiful.
Exactly. I agree. We're coming up on 70 minutes, my friend.
Awesome.
It was good having you on again. Thanks for sharing part two. I know a lot of people wanted to hear, when as we were recording, a comment popped up. I can't wait to hear part two. So
Okay.
I appreciate you coming back, sharing your experiences with us, taking some time out of your day.
Oh, anytime, Jeff. You know me. I'm here for you.
And I'm looking forward to reading some of that info that you're going to be sending me and some of those videos. So,
okay, I'll send you that one, and it's got like a lot of info. The guy does, it's like a compressed information.
Yeah.
He talks about other videos that you can research, books too.
All right. Cool.
And the stuff like that. It goes from the beginning to like now times almost. So yeah, it's a bunch of stuff. Interesting. It's a rabbit hole. So be careful. Don't go too deep.
Right on. All right, I'm going to end the video. Don't hang up because I want to talk to you for a minute after. And thank you for coming back. I appreciate it.
No problem. Love you guys.
All right, guys, I am really glad that we were able to finish up part two because I wanted to hear the rest of what Lewis had to share with us. And, a couple comments were like, hey, why is he laughing? I can't take him serious. He's sharing an experience that still he logically cannot explain in his head. A lot of people handle these encounters and experiences differently, and until you've had one, then you'll know. But I mean, those who have had an encounter are the ones that don't go and mock somebody how they share an experience. Those who have had an experience knows what it's like to try to share, because you're still baffled. But I hope you guys enjoyed tonight's second half as much as I enjoyed sharing it with you. And may the Great Spirit watch over us all. And may He guide us down that path that we call life.